What's up everyone, and here we go with another mining rig. Let's go ahead and see what I got for this rig. So I got AC 1300 Wi-Fi card by TP-Link. Similarly for power supply, I got EVGA 1300 watt gold plus power supply. And I got 6 RX 6600 XT, 3 of them by Power Color and 3 of them by Asus. And similarly, Prime B460M AR2 motherboard, which supports a 4 pcie slot that we can split it into 6. Intel Core i3 10100F SSD by Inland, 16GB of DDR4 dual channel, some fans and thermal paste. Moving on, I will show you the components that you need again and why you need them, and what things that you can change in this rig, and how can you save some money, and what splitter you need, what riser you need, how much you can make with it, and when can you break even, and is it worth it or no. So let's go ahead and start. So as you saw, for the CPU I chose Intel Core i3 10100F. This is not an integrated graphic card, so you only can use it for mining. And if you want to use your mining rig for something else, for like searching, and if you want your mining rig to be a little bit more stable, I recommend getting the Intel Core i3 10105, which has integrated graphic in it, but the price is a little bit more, about $120. If you're interested in that, definitely check out my other video for the other mining rig that I make with Intel i3 and with integrated graphic, and for that one I use a different motherboard and other things different. Check out that one if you're interested. Also, the link for that is at the end of the video too. So this Intel Core i3 that I chose, the price is $89.99, and you can find it in many places including Amazon, Micro Center. I got it from Micro Center. And again, it does not have an integrated graphic, so in your mining rig you have to keep in mind that you have to get your video output that you want to connect your HDMI to your monitor from your GPU to your monitor. So you have to use one of your GPUs as a primary GPU in order to get video output, since this CPU does not have integrated graphic, and once it does not have integrated graphic, you are unable to use the HDMI or the DVI port on the motherboard, and you have to use one of your GPUs as a primary GPU. But you still can mine on that GPU too, except the overclocking that GPU, you have to tweak the things a little bit, because you're also getting video output out of it and you cannot max overclock it like the other GPUs. If you're interested on how to overclocking it, check out my other videos where I showed how. For the memory, I decided to spend a little bit more money and get a dual channel 16GB of G.Skill Ripjaws. The price for it is really good. It's $57, and I think it's a great option if we get a dual channel memory, because the faster the memory we have these days. Previously 8 GB was enough for mining, and right now it may be enough too. 4 GB definitely not enough, but 16GB is better. And your 16GB memory that you find does not necessarily need to be dual channel, but I found this for $57 and the price was good, so I decided to go, why not choose a dual channel, so make everything run a little bit more smoother and faster. For the storage, I decided to choose Inland 240GB and for $28. Definitely for6 choose something above either 120GB or above 120GB, because for 6 GPU you need about 60 to 80GB of virtual memory, and where virtual memory comes from your SSD. So you should at least have 80GB for virtual memory reserved, and your Windows takes about 40GB. So you need something above 120GB. 120GB, then you're using full capacity of your SSD. So the reason I got 240 is I'm not using full capacity of the SSD, so the SSD life span becomes a little bit more. For the GPUs, 6 of them. I got 3 RX 6600 by PowerColor XT and 3 by Asus, and it cost me around $3,000 if you can find one. If not, you have to buy it from third-party eBay for a little bit of higher price. But if you have stores like Best Buy, Micro Center near you, maybe you can find on the original price, which is around $500 for PowerColor and similar $510, $520 for Asus. So overall, it's approximately near $3,000. For the power supply, I choose EVGA Gold Plus 1300 watt power supply. You can choose also platinum and titanium power supply. They are way better, but for RX 6600 I think 1300 watt Gold Plus is enough, and I will show you why. So until now the price is around $3,464, and let's see why I choose the power supply as a 1300 watt power supply. So here is a calculator that you can use. I found it online and it's great, and I believe it's correct. So for the CPU, I choose the Intel Core i3 10100, and here I added the 16GB of memory. I added the 6 GPUs, RX 6600 XT. We have to choose 6600 XT. So with my overclocking setting, I set the overclocking to 2200 about 60, and similarly right about here. And we have a standard mouse and keyboard. Right here in this calculator there is no option to add a riser, but a riser typically is use power similar to a USB 3, and USB 3 has like 4 watt of power, and this one a riser uses like 3 watts. So we can see USB 3 has 4.5, and so riser consume about 3.3 watt of power. So right here I just chose 6 USB 3 devices. So let's actually say 7, because I'm using the Wi-Fi card, which is a USB 3 device too. In order to save some money, if your mining rig is near your router, you can use LAN instead of Wi-Fi card. And 6 fans I added. My monitor is 27-inch. I added. Monitor depends. The larger monitor you have, the more power you need. And utilization 24/7. And since mining, I put gaming on, since we are using 100% of the GPU all the time. So the load wattage that we are getting is 1005 watts. And the recommended power supply is 1055 watt, and I think since we are getting Gold Plus, 1000 watt is not enough, since we are getting 1005, and if you get 1000 you're overloading your power supply, and your power supply will get hot and it will ruin all of your system, and eventually maybe it burn your GPUs. So in order to be safe, you need like 300 watt extra. So your next option that you have to get is EVGA Supernova 1300 Gold Plus. And we can see that electricity cost per year for this at my location is about $3,000.69. It's quite too much. Maybe depending on your location it's cheaper, and yes, it is what it is. Moving on, for the PCIe split, you need PCIe 1 to 4 split. So you can split one of your slot into 4, and it's good that the motherboard that you use has a PCIe 4, and this motherboard that I chose has a PCIe 4, so you can split it into 4 and use the other the other 2 as how to connect your GPUs. You can use the other 3. This motherboard has 3 other slots, where in one of them you can either connect your Wi-Fi card, internal Wi-Fi card, and split one of them to 4, or you can use this splitter, connect 3 GPUs to it, and use the other 3 port to connect your 3 other GPUs, so you connect 6 GPUs, or you can even connect 7 GPUs to it, but I connected 6 GPUs to it. The riser costs around $50. I personally get my riser for $50 for 6 of them. I'm not advertising any of the brands, and choose what you want. However, if you watch my other videos where I explain the risers, we have 2 types of riser with 3 capacitors and risers with 8 capacitors. Riser with 8 capacitors are a little bit more expensive, but they supply much better power to your power supply, and in case of any electricity outage or anything happen, and once you have an 8 capacitor riser, your GPUs stay more safe and nothing gonna happen to your GPUs. Whereas you have a 3 capacitor riser, and maybe once your electricity is not good, or you get a power outage or something like that, you're gonna damage your GPUs. I recommend getting an 8 capacitor riser, but you can get away with 3 capacitor riser too. For some of my rigs I use 3 capacitors, some of my rigs I use 8 capacitor. But check out my other video where I explain more about it. Okay, so talking about the cost, that electricity cost, my location is 30 cents, and as I said before. But the prices that I'm showing right now here to you are based on today's price, where Bitcoin is $46,500, and today is December 31, 2021. The prices are based on this. Also, if you don't want to pay fees for your mining pools, check out my other videos where I explain how to avoid any fees. For example, if you use 2 miner with Ethereum and algorithm hash, you do not have to pay fees if you're withdrawing in BTC or Nano. So you can get your withdrawals in BTC or Nano and then convert to anything you like later on. This way you're avoiding any type of fees. Okay, so for AMD RX 6600 XT that we have for this rig, in using 2 miners or ETH, which is Ethereum pool, we're getting about $1.94. My location, the electric cost is 42 cents, and the estimated daily profit that I'm getting is $1.51. So we have 6 of them, and $1.51 times 6, we're getting $9 per day, but at today's price. Depending, some days you're getting $8, some days you're getting $12. It depends. So $9, and right here I said that the price was $3,464. Taking into consideration of the price of the riser and the price of the splitters, we can say that it cost around $3,600, and we divide by 9,400, so it takes about 13 months to break even. and the lifespan of these GPUs are between 3 to 5 years. So after 13 months you're break even and you start getting profit. So definitely it's risky, but it's worth it in my opinion, and you should decide on what to do. And if you're able to do the main things and everything correctly, then after 13 months, maybe sooner, maybe 10 months, maybe 8 months, because the price of crypto increase and you break even in a faster time. So depending on the price of the crypto, at worst case scenario you break even in 14 months, and after 14 months you're on profit. Everything you make, it's yours. And if you can find GPUs at a cheaper price, for example, if you buy the straight of AMD, they're about $200-300, then even better, you break even faster. If you have any question, feel free to comment below. Other than this, thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.